Alright, hello everybody. So, I had a request from some people that have purchased a new Mac for the first time, and they wanted to know kind of the basics and what the differences are between Mac and Windows. And so that kind of spawned the idea for this whole Mac series. And so what I'm going to do is break this up into a couple of videos, and we're going to try to go over the basics and the major differences and any similarities between Windows and Mac. Alright? So let's just start with the overall look of things. Um, Applications are launched from the dock down here, which has a nice little scrolling effect and enlarges the icon you're working with, as opposed to like a start button. Mac does have a what they call an Apple button, which has some different features to it as well. But one of the major differences includes this bar up here, which is the navigation. And normally when you open a Windows application, such as Chrome, okay, these are part of the window itself. In Mac, they're not. So when you break it apart, you'll see that these windows stay up here. A lot of these are similar: file, edit, view, history, bookmarks. All of this is going to seem very similar, just that it's not going to be attached to the window. So that is something that can trip you up if you're maybe using a second monitor. You don't remember that the navigation menu is actually up here. Okay, so that's one thing to remember as being completely different. One thing that's used a lot in Windows is the control panel, and in Mac it's called System Preferences. All right, and a lot of your configuration can be done from this section, and it's going to be very similar to what you see inside of Windows. And there's an awful lot to go over here, so I'll go over a couple of major things that you might find you need quickly. One is print and scan. This is a printer and scanner section. In order to add a printer, you click the plus, and then you can add a printer based on its device by IP address, or if you're on a Windows domain like I am, based on the server that it's running from. Okay, and then you have the option of auto select if it's available, or generic drivers, or you can select your own printer driver by clicking other. And we'll do another video basically just on adding printers. Alright, so we'll just save that for now. Alright, and hit the back arrow to go back to it. The display option. This is what controls your resolution, screen resolution. This is similar to the Windows setup. You have your brightness. Alright. And you have an automatically adjust brightness, which I don't prefer actually. This option show displays in the menu bar. You'll see this is the display up here. Okay, that's the icon it's talking about. And this is where you set your resolution. Now I have a second monitor, so this also populates the arrangement where I can, this is the smaller one is the laptop monitor, this is my regular monitor. Alright, so you can swap them so that you're dragging to the left or to the right instead of. Okay, and it detect displays if your monitor isn't showing up. Can force it to send a signal through the cable and show it up. Alright, so we'll go back, and one of the other major features is the sharing, and this has several different ways of sharing. You can share your printer, share files, screen sharing. This is for remote desktop type situations, remote management of the machine itself, remote login, Xgrid sharing, internet sharing, and Bluetooth sharing. Alright, I'm using web sharing and file sharing right now. Alright, and so we'll come back to this. I'll do a little bit more on file sharing later on. And the other one that's a very large, not a large, but I mean a popular feature is email. Everybody does email as a client. To add an account, you just click on plus add account and then select what type it is. Okay, and then fill in the information, and if your server is available and can be configured automatically, it will. Alright, click Setup. These are the things you want to use it with. You can choose not to use calendars, or choose chat or not choose chat. And just click Add Account. Now it's going out and configuring all the information. And when you go ahead and open Mail, there it is. There's all your mail, and it's configured and ready to go. Alright. So back into the preferences, the other one is iCloud. iCloud is a new feature of Macs, and it allows you to store music up to the cloud, and also calendars, contacts, anything that you would like, even mail. You get 5 gigabytes for free, and this ties in with your Apple ID. And if you don't want to use the Apple ID, if you don't want to use iCloud, you don't have to. But this, for me, I do. I like to back up, documents and contacts for sure. My calendar appointments and bookmarks, they're not quite so important, but it is, as long as I'm not close to my limit, I don't mind doing it. Alright? So, and then your desktop. This is where you would set screensaver options as well as your desktop background. And you'll see the instant change whenever you click on an item. Okay. You have a slideshow feature, which will let you it'll scroll through all of the background images every couple of seconds, or however long interval you want. Alright. I don't particularly like that feature, but you have options of setting your own, using your own using your own images. Alright. I don't actually have anything in these right now, but if you did, that's where they would go. That's where you'd choose them from. Alright. And we'll go back to the feature. Now you've also got an options for your keyboard and mouse. Alright. These are pretty standard, same as Windows in the control panel. Your tracking speed, double click speed, all of that. And you'll also see different mice available if you have several mice installed. Alright. Now the sound option is another one. I'm using a headphone set here. For my output, I'm selecting that as the default device. And for input, I'm selecting that for the default device as well. Alright. Alright, and the last one I want to go over is Time Machine. Time Machine is a backup option that will actually set a status of the machine every hour and back up any changes that you make between them. In order to configure this and to use this, you'll need a dedicated USB hard drive, and it will reformat the drive. So it's a Mac OS journal file format, and so I'm not going to do that at this point. But the configuration is fairly straightforward. It tells you whether or not you want to keep files after a certain date, and you're going to tell it how to handle conflicts, and it's going to show, you have the option of showing its status in the menu bar or not. Okay. So that's it for video number 1. I'll go ahead and record the next couple videos and get them up as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and if you found it useful, go ahead and like and subscribe. Thanks.